Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today we're going to be talking about combat tanks in Planetside 2. In this clip here, we're sort of traveling in a large tank battalion. Wrathage is playing with me. I have a few other YouTubers in here, and we're assaulting this small Vanu base, and it is just an awesome spectacle to see all these tanks moving out through the desert. This is something you will not see in any other game that exists on the market today, is all these players and tons of vehicles assaulting a base in massive force. So the tanks are very similar to the way that Battlefield 3 tanks control. The driver controls the main gun, and he also controls the direction that the tank is driving in. And then there's a gunner who basically just aims the top gun and can pop out and repair the tank in key situations. Now the default setting with tanks, the top gunner has a gun that's decent for killing infantry and armor. It's not particularly great at either, but it can handle both tasks. And in this particular battle right here, we're taking on some Vanu tanks, and I know that me putting a lot of fire downrange into the enemy tanks is really helping softening them up so that Matimio, the driver in this situation, is able to actually take them out. And we just went through two tanks, which maybe in Battlefield isn't the most impressive thing in the world, but in Planetside is pretty difficult to do. Your tanks go down very fast, and especially when you're up against a Mag Rider, which is the powerful Vanu tank, it is a serious battle to try and take one out. And just like in Battlefield 3, you can pop out with your little repair tool as an engineer and repair the tanks quite a bit. Right now we're taking some fire from some heavy assault infantry, and as you can see in the sort of medium right side of the screen, it shows our armor. We did take a shot from that rocket, and it took our armor down a bit. Now, something to watch out for in Planetside, and this happens a lot. When you're up against a lot of infantry, you will run into a lot of heavy infantry, so there's a lot of rockets that you need to worry about. And a couple heavy infantry in good key points and rocks, or with some good cover, can take out your tank extremely fast. Now, you can't get disabled like you can in Battlefield 3, but you can get ambushed and taken out extremely fast. Now, as a tank driver, it is extremely important to be able to stay mobile, keep moving. Right now, we're kind of up against some anti-armor max units. These can be a little tricky to deal with. Although they are slow moving, they're still heavily armored, and it can take more than one tank shot to take them out. So right now, we're working together to try and drop these two max units, and we have a third that's snuck up behind us. Anti-armor max units will take down armor extremely fast, and they can get up into weird little situations like heavy assaults can, where they can get behind rocks, jump up into areas, and they can make it very hard for you to take them out. We managed to get 3 there total, and I'm trying to sneak in some quick repairs before the enemies are able to sneak back up on us. Now, a cool thing about Planetside is that you have a lot of options for customizing anything, which includes infantry, airplanes, and armor. So with tanks, you can upgrade their speed, you can upgrade their armor, you can change out what kind of guns they have on top, you can change out what kind of main cannon they have, and a really valuable thing to upgrade, which we don't actually have unlocked for tanks yet because it's beta, it's coming soon, will be the speed, your turning rate, your braking rate, all that kind of stuff to improve maneuverability is going to be key for staying alive in this game, because although you can upgrade armor, it's much better to not take a hit. So if you can stay moving and still maintain good aim, or at least stop for small intervals to take aim, fire, and then keep moving, you're going to stay alive a lot longer than you would in a stationary target. So in Battlefield 3, there's often 1 or 2 tank setups that would just really be appropriate for 90% or 99% of all situations that you run into. Like, you would almost always want to run with smoke to break lock-on missiles. You'd almost always want to have reactive armor to reduce the damage that you're taking. With Planetside, you're going to really want a lot of variability in how you decide to set up your tanks, and that was a pretty sweet shot that Matimio just took there. He shot the guy off the ATV before destroying the ATV with the main cannon. But for example, the main cannon can actually be switched to armored piercing rounds, which do very little. Actually, they do 0 splash damage, but they do a little bit more damage to tanks if you hit them directly. Now, the basic round that they start off with are pretty good for damaging tanks, and they have some decent splash damage too. So if an infantry runs behind a rock, you can shoot the rock next to him or the wall next to him, and the splash can still damage him, potentially killing him. So you have kind of a versatile round in the beginning, but if you want to customize your tank team so that maybe the main driver has an armored piercing round, and then the gunner has a gun that's set up specifically for taking down infantry, you can then specialize more in taking out specific targets. The gunner will be exclusively for taking out infantry, and the tank driver will be exclusively for taking out anti-armor. You could also potentially set it up for a situation where if you know you're going into a very, very infantry intensive situation, you can then switch out the main tank gun for something that has huge splash radius and very good infantry damage, and you can still run with an infantry gun on top of the tank to really maximize your potential for taking out infantry. In this clip here, I'm running with a anti-infantry gun. I'm the gunner in this clip here on top of the tank. Matimio's still driving, and this thing has 100 rounds in a magazine as opposed to the 50 that the standard gun has, and it fires a lot faster and deals more damage to infantry. So it's very good for taking out infantry targets. As you see, I just took out 2 heavies right there, but there's just a little too much action around us. The tank gets taken out, and I managed to bail out right before it goes down and get another heavy kill. So all that footage that I've been showing you has been in the New Conglomerate's Vanguard tank. That's the heavy tank for the New Conglomerate team. And this clip right here, we're driving in Lightnings, which are the light tanks. And this tank is available for all 3 races: New Conglomerate, Terran Republic, and Vanu. And these tanks are very versatile. They're quick, they're light, and they can't really absorb a lot of damage. So if you go one-on-one with a heavy tank, you're probably going to lose that fight unless you're taking advantage of its speed and its maneuverability. Right now, Matimio's sort of attracted the attention of a Vanguard tank, and these things can basically take about 2 hits from a Vanguard, and then they're down. So they're very light. Matimio's really absorbing the brunt of this attack. He's trying to stay mobile. He's getting hunted down right now, and I'm trying to put some real fire into it. There goes Matimio, and I'm in a position to finish off the Vanguard. So they're light, they work well in packs, and you can definitely equip them with a lot of interesting weaponry. You can really set them up to be extremely good against infantry. You can even equip them with a anti-air cannon, which is very good for taking out anything in the air, any sort of Reaver or a Liberator or something like that. And if you mix in a Lightning with an anti-air cannon to a tank column, all of a sudden that tank column now has some very good weaponry against incoming air attacks. So it's a very good tool for defending other armor against weird threats that they maybe might not be so good at defending themselves against. So if you want to specialize in tanks, sometimes you don't want to just put all your points just into the Vanguard or the main assaulting tank of that team. Sometimes you want to diversify your points between the light tank and the main tank. The reason for this is that not only do each vehicles have their own cooldown timer, meaning you can't just necessarily respawn the same vehicle over and over and over again unless you put enough points into it to reduce the cooldown timer, but they also take different resources. So sometimes if your Empire's having a little trouble collecting resources and you just bought a Vanguard tank and you now don't have any more of those resources left over, the Lightning takes a different kind of resource. So if you're in a heavy, armor-heavy battle and you really want to keep the tanks coming, sometimes it really helps to switch between Lightnings and your main battle tank. So give the tanks a try. You gotta be careful with them because this isn't Battlefield where you only have 1 or 2 armored targets to worry about. Sometimes you can turn a corner and there's 10 guys staring at you, and so you have to play a bit more conservatively. Right here we definitely got ourselves in a little bit over our heads. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go try out some of your factions tanks if you're in the Planetside beta, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off. Max, man, that anti-vehicle Max just fucked us up.
Yep. Damn.
Woo! I got 2 Maxes running after me.
Live on!
Holy shit, that one just sprinted at me. fucking scared the hell out of me.
You want